So Colin, could you start by giving us your assessment of the first third of this season?
Yeah, what a good question. Well, I think we've been very unlucky in a lot of the games where we've draws. I think our only lucky draw was Torquay away. I think some of our draws at home we should have won. And I think the games that we've lost, the only real game I thought we should have lost was Kidderminster away. All the other losses that we have, and I know we hadn't had that many, we've only had 4, I think we've had a lot of the game and been a little bit unlucky.
Now on the plus side this season, in previous years we've been a bit of a soft touch here at Kit Kat Crescent. Now that's kind of ended and probably one of the biggest positives that was that we're still unbeaten.
Yeah, it is. And I don't think anybody's come here and actually dominated the game. I think we've totally took the game to them. And we've not been as dominant as we should have been, but I think we've looked really solid at the back. I think one of the biggest plus points obviously has been Michael Ingham. Michael Ingham's made a massive difference in the goals. And obviously the different shapes that we played, a back 4 or a back 3, I think we've defended and stopped crosses really well. Again, a lot of talk has been about what we've been like in front of goal, and that's something that from now on in we've got to get better at.
You got your squad together pretty much early in pre-season, and then on the eve of the kick-off we lost Martin Wolford. Now, was that a big blow, or had you kind of got plans in place expecting Martin to be moving on?
Well, the quality of player he was, I always knew that he would end up in the league. I think the week leading up to the Crawley game, I didn't expect it to go so quickly, but when the offer came in, it was obviously an offer the football club couldn't turn down. I think in hindsight, looking at it back from now, I don't think we've actually replaced that type of player, but you know, maybe you've got to go out and spend the same amount of money to get the same quality of player as Martin Wolford. I think he developed very well here at the football club with Billy and myself and Eric, and I think that he's showing now on a regular basis for Scunthorpe what a good player he is. We've not really replaced him, but I think we've gone down a different route in the way that we play. We've had people playing in behind the front 2, we've had one off, one striker, and we tried to get down the flanks a bit more. So, you know, we haven't really replaced Martin, but I think we're playing in a slightly different way.
Because you get the impression, since the season started, you're a man who's almost looking for the last piece in the jigsaw. I've had loan players coming in, quite a bit of transfer talk, and you know, names being bandied about. Also now Bruce Dyer's come in. Do you think he might be the final piece to score you the goals and perhaps get us a few more wins? Yes,
a short answer to that would be yes. I've always said that, you rightly said earlier about getting the squad together early. I wanted to do that to get all of pre-season in and then to start the season. Losing Martin was a blow, but then we started to not be as potent in front of goal. I'm not picking on anybody. As a team, we didn't get enough crosses in. We didn't get people in the box, whether it be midfield players or strikers. Now I think that Bruce can help us do that because he's got the experience. He knows what we're after. I've worked with him before, so he knows what Eric and I are trying to do with him. And I thought you saw in his first hour that, you know, it wasn't a surprise that we got all them shots, all them crosses in, because Bruce had an hand in most of them.
Now the search for strikers almost become a bit of a saga, and obviously from the fans' point of view, a lot of names have been bandied about and hopes have been raised and dashed. Does it kind of annoy you that it's all been so public, or has it been public kind of deliberately to show the fans you're trying to get somebody in?
You'd have to throw names at me for me to be out about the public bit. The Eisen Christie situation wasn't really public. I don't know how that got out. Luke Beckett's always been public. Justin Richards was always public because we were talking to them before the season started. Clayton Donaldson was public because he was obviously one that wanted to come back. He made us aware that he would like to come back to York City, but other things got in the way of that. So I'm not really that fussed if it gets in the public, as long as, you know, everybody knows what football's like. You can't really put all your washing out to dry and everybody knows what you're doing. You don't really want to do that. You don't want people to know what's happening. So I didn't do that deliberately. I think you know me by now, Phil, that I try and tell the truth. If somebody, are we looking for a striker? Yes, we are. Can you give us some names? Oh, yes, I can. Now, if it's somebody that I don't want you to know about, then I don't say anything. But football is a leaky world, and it does come out. And, you know, that was a little bit unfortunate.
Now, on the topic of strikers, I have to ask you about Richard Brodie. Why was Richard Brodie sent on loan to Barrow?
Richard Brodie came into my office and we talked at length about him. He wanted to play regular, and at that moment in time I couldn't guarantee him a regular spot. Now, he's been here 2.5 years, and I think Richard now needs a regular game somewhere. So we both came together and said, right, well, let's send you out on loan, get regular games, see if the grass is greener elsewhere, see what it's like, because he still trains with us, he's still a regular trainer, and he's enjoying his time at the Barrow. But from a York City point of view, it helps York City to have another striker playing regularly, even though it is somewhere else, because if and when he does come back, you know, he'll be sharp and ready to play for us.
Do you understand maybe how some supporters might find it a bit galling when Richard scores a couple in the FA Cup and we fail to score in 2 games, and obviously they get the prize money, we're out of the cup, and you know, to see him doing well, you wish him well, but surely if you can score goals for Barrow, you can score goals for York City.
Yeah, I think that's easy to say. I think that you know, I'm paid to do a job, and if I've got 4, 5, 6 strikers, then it's very difficult to keep that many strikers happy. If the opportunity comes to let one out, which we did, it then opens a door maybe for the likes of Adam Boyes, who's you know, not been knocking on the door. So that type of thing happens in football clubs as well. Richard Brodie is still a York City player. Richard Brodie has a contract with York City where we have an option on him. So he can't just up sticks and leave. And I think York City are getting the best of both worlds. It's great for him, as long as he don't, well, he can't score against York because he can't play against us. But while he's going and doing well, if and when he does come back, that's when we'll get the benefit of that. Now,
obviously football's a results industry and it can be a very cruel game, and at the moment you're getting quite a bit of stick from some sections of the supporters. Do you think perhaps the stick you're getting, and especially some of the players as well, do you think it's justified, or you know, do you think it's perhaps being a bit unreasonable?
Well, all I can say, Phil, is that my record is played 56, won 23, drawn 19, and we've only lost 14 games. Now, I don't think that's bad. We've drawn too many, but I believe that we're on an upward curve in that length of time I've been in charge, which I think it's just coming up to a year now, to get positive results out of 42 of the 56 games, I think is good. Now, we've got to get better. I'm not happy with what we've done. You know, I want to be in that top 5 or 6, but I think we're 7 points off playoffs, 9 points off the top. And I'm not sure whether you know, but of all the games we've played, I think we've played 9 of the top 10 teams. So, you know, we've had a really tough start to the season, and I think, you know, we are well in there. And you know, I've got to be positive. The players are certainly positive. They know they can do it. And from now on in, next 2 games, Torquay and Cambridge, I think we'll show that what a good side we are.
You know, you mentioned the league table. As you say, we're only 7 points off the players, off the playoffs. So, I mean, there's plenty to look forward to. And again, as you said about the fixtures, there's a real chance to kick on. So, what do you think? You know, how can we force our way into the playoff race?
Well, I think you've watched most games. I've yet to see anybody outpass us off the pitch. I think we've totally dominated lots of games. We haven't gone on to win them. I know that, and that's that bit that we've got to get right. And we're working very hard to get that bit of the game right. We've shored it up at the back, and I just think if we can get from the middle to the final third going, I think we can go on a great run.
Well, let's hope we can, and thanks very much for your time, Colin.
Cheers, Phil.